Hello. So, recently Gillette, who are famous for being the leading brand of shaving razors, released an advertisement which has been part of the discourse, hasn't it? And I'm sure you're all familiar with it, but I'll put a link down below if you haven't seen it. So yeah, it's kind of a putting aside the fact that it's an advertisement piggybacking on a social movement to sell shaving razors. It's a positive message. You know, be better. It's a very basic thing there. So, yeah, let's see how this went down. Let's oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, the replies. Oh, make it stop. Make it stop. I don't like this. Ah. So, what's happened is it looks like Gillette has alienated their customer base by calling them all disgusting shitbags with no chance of redemption. And shout out to Bawdy Barber for their opportunistic use of someone else's advertisement in order to promote their own business, a move that I'm sure will go down in history as a very intelligent, smart, and positive move for their brand. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of anti-male sentiment in this Gillette advertisement, which is alienating their consumer base and is negative for their brand overall. Anyway, let's see what some more prominent individuals have to say about this. You know, the ones with blue check marks. Here's everyone's favourite soy enthusiast, Paul Joseph Watson, prison Watson, prison man, the planet of the Pauls, rise of the Josephs. I want to cut that out. He says, insulting most of your own customers by insinuating they're all would-be sexual abusers and creeps has to be one of the most original marketing campaigns in decades. That's Paul Joseph Watson's view on the advertisement. Here's Dana Loesch's view on the situation. An ad campaign built upon straw man that insults men and those who love them with stereotypes. Bold marketing move. So clearly it's an original and bold marketing campaign, which, I mean, you'd think is something that a free marketeer would be happy with, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. And here's a tweet from Peter Lloyd, who says, Dear Gillette, I am not toxic. The amazing men in my life are not toxic. Masculinity is not toxic. The staggering number of dislikes to this video suggests most people agree with me. Now kindly fuck off into insolvency. Now this is the point that I want to talk about most, to be honest. It feels like a lot of these people must have watched a different video to me, or maybe they just forgot to pay attention for the whole thing, which is understandable, you know, it's literally an advert. I don't blame you for that, but allow me to explain what happens in the rest of it. So what happens is you see a lot of men doing things that we would usually see as bad, you know, you see them talking over women in meetings, you see them letting the little kids fight because boys will be boys, you see them groping women and acting predatory and laughing it off. In the second half of the video, the music does a little changey thing and the men start acting differently. So they start doing things that are commonly associated with masculinity, but in a positive light. So this guy here is teaching kids to not fight for no reason. This guy is intervening in a potentially bad situation and de-escalating it. This guy is being a nice dad, you know, that's positive. And if your only takeaway from this advert, apart from we want you to buy Gillette razors, is that men are evil, you've missed the point, willfully or otherwise. I find it interesting, although it's unsurprising to many, to see how aggressively and intensely many men have reacted to this. Branding something SJW propaganda isn't really going to do anything to help you. It's a deflection from the message being portrayed by what you've just watched. Do you feel guilty? Do you feel called out? Are you the guy being stopped or the one talking over his co-worker in a meeting? Are you the children fighting on the ground? Or in this case, Twitter replies, I guess. Like, masculinity in itself is not toxic. Toxic masculinity is toxic, like the name suggests. When all the men are standing there saying boys will be boys, that is what's painting men in a bad light. That's how we have such low expectations. The idea that we just act like that, there's nothing you can do. There's no global assault on masculinity, peers. There's a long overdue backlash against a lot of behaviours glorified and rewarded in modern culture for so long. The video says some already are, as in some men are already beginning to do their part in lessening the issues illustrated in that first half of the video. Probably not you though, peers, let's be honest. I'm not saying it's a perfect representation of an ideal form of masculinity, and I think some of the acting in the ad leaves a lot to be desired, but it critiques a lot of relevant areas of masculinity as we see it today, as well as offering examples of how it doesn't have to be the case. The backlash regarding this advert proves the point depicted, ironically enough. There's a lot of men getting extremely offended that their masculinity is in danger. Maybe instead of clutching onto an antiquated idea of an identity, you could look into yourself and try and make that change. Bell Hooks in The Will to Change says this: until we can create a popular culture that affirms and celebrates masculinity without upholding patriarchy, we will never see a change in the way that masses of males think about their identity. As men, we must grow to uphold these positive aspects of masculinity. Getting angry at a razor advert is pointless, but also destructive. You don't have to identify with the video's antagonists. That's on you. It's a different matter that a company is piggybacking on the Me Too movement in order to sell their products. That's a little less excusable. However, I think the message of the advert can be positive while the motives are less so. Anyway, thanks very much for listening. I would say watching, but I have put literally no video. Not literally, I just used that incorrectly. Sorry. Here's some visual cues for the video. It's Cliffy B calling out people in the replies for being wrong. That's interesting. Anyway, have a good rest of your week.